Zealoters, thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. If you are new here, you are welcome. A major shift is happening in the Sahel that completely shatters the old way of looking at global power. For decades, the international community assumed that when an African nation cut ties with a Western power, it must immediately run into the arms of Moscow or Beijing. But the recent actions of Niger's leadership prove that the modern era of diplomacy is no longer a simple game of choosing sides. When a leader who has restrictively stayed within his own borders for over 2 years decides to make his first very trip outside of the continent, the destination he chooses tells you everything about his strategy. The destination was not Russia, France, the United States. It was Turkey. This choice represents a deliberate, calculated move to engage with an entirely different kind of global player. A Muslim-majority nation that offers advanced technological capability, trade, and infrastructure completely free from the historic colonial baggage of Europe or the heavy political conditions imposed by Washington. The agreements signed during this historic meeting are the exact opposite of viral headlines or temporary fixes. Instead of focusing on dramatic short-term military contracts, the framework establishes long-term institutional connections.
Mr. President, thank you very much for your very kind words. I want to thank you. So me and my personal and my delegation, thank you for your hospitality. I do. We have taken care of your invitation. Our official visit, one visit that is symbolically extremely important for us. 2, the level of cooperation relations of our country. I think it's worthy one visit. Republic of Turkey and Republic of Niger, between which you have supported one visit worthy of our cooperation relations. Of course, our relations are historical relations, Osman. Dating back to the empire of the Ottoman state, has one historical relationship, and 450 people left Libya on time and went to Agadez. With his arrival, and with 1,004 faces accompanied by Dolphin, bilateral cooperation relations since 1405, strengthened in 1966 between our two countries, the first diplomatic relationship agreements with the Republic of Turkey, between the Republic of Niger, signed between the independent Republic of Niger, our cooperation relations since then, actually, until January 8, 2013. 0/21. Mr. President, while Prime Minister of the Republic of Turkey, himself important one official delegation visit, performed, Nigerian and Nigerian, during your official visit. The bilateral cooperation agreement was signed, and this is actually our strengthening our relations, has provided since that time. Always, always. We received the support of the Republic of Turkey in your enlightened vision and with your will. Mr. President Erdogan, we got your support. Always separate to the Republic of Niger 1. Ying gave importance, himself for many periods. His Excellency always calls for the departure of our relations with the threat of terrorism. He also supported us to fight successfully about this. According to instructions, signed under several projects, and these projects were carried out in one concrete way, was implemented, and the Minister of Defense, in line with the follow-up, Minister of State of Niger. Together with the Ministry of Recognition, these projects were implemented. We really want to thank you for that. So that, right now, our air defense devices, whether we have vehicles or other, let's have military vehicles right now, Turkish. With vehicles, with Turkish devices. A little more in this terror environment. You made us achieve calmness and stability. Mr. President, for your support in this area. Thank you so much. Niger people in our country. You have contributed to his peace and trust. Cooperation relationships only. Of course, not limited to the defense area. In addition, our relations have strengthened in other areas. For example, in the health field, also in the field of health. Same way you, Nigeria, after your visit in 2013. Friendship, Turkey-Niger Hospital. This hospital was built and serving the fragile part of our society, especially supporting our women in their every case. Provides health service next to. And Turkey-Niger Friendship Hospital. Niger women today. The most appropriate treatment methods. Have access. And for that reason, we wanted the services there to be expanded a little more. And the healthcare we just signed. Cooperation in the field. With the agreement. Cooperation here. We wanted to make it bigger. During your visit on January 8, 2013, that period, you with one new initiative, Marif, for the university through the foundation. You supported us and won access to quality of our new students. You made it to have more than 5 students benefiting from the higher education servants here. Other than that, again, Turkey-Nigeria Friendship TKU, facility created in 2010, when you want the continuation of our work in 3. So I can actually say that 2 for us. 8th January 2013, dated official visit for us Majim 1. Historical 1 period. It was the beginning of the period in agriculture, in the energy field, in the field of infrastructure, or in the industrial field, in the field of defense industry. In all these sectors, Turkey's, we see that he accompanies and supports us, especially when the president supports us. We can see himself always with us. And sometimes we industry, working in the fading industry, for our friends. We can worry because the president instructed. He says you make the delivery, you will get the payment later. Mr. President III. He trusts us so much, hence you. I want to thank the states very much for supporting us in all these processes. And today, that our visit. This is the first country we visited outside of Africa. Republic of Turkey. We are carrying out this visit with our ministers and one important businessman, with Hetty, important in the world of economy and trade, and with their personalities. Today's visit, they are also their valuable Turkish counterparts, and they had the opportunity to meet with their friends. I hope this cooperation will continue, get stronger, and set an example. Set an example for the African continent and the world. Get one example cooperation relationship. In fact, the weakest, the more developed side of the ring. Let there be one example and model of cooperation that has received its support. One cooperation in which the strong exploit the weak. Not relationship. Thank you.
We are talking about 5-year protocols on higher education, the creation of a permanent joint economic and trade commission, and structured agreements to train the next generation of local diplomats. This is the slow and glamorous building of state capacity. It proves that the objective is not to fix a quick shield, but to construct a permanent foundation that can outlast individual political administrations. To truly understand what is happening in the region, we have to look past single event and see the entire map. This strategy is defined by a clear operational rule. Take from everyone, depend on no one. This is a sovereign age where every single international relationship is used as a shield against becoming overly reliant on any other nation. Look at how these moves balance each other out. On one hand, you have a deep, active security partnership with Russia to stabilize internal defense forces and replace vacated Western military installations. On another hand, you see a systematic reconciliation with regional neighbors like Algeria, reviving massive energy infrastructure projects like the Trans-Sahara Gas Pipeline to secure a direct economic lifeline to international markets. But the move that completely breaks the old Cold War mindset is what happened right before the trip to Ankara. The exact same administration that hosts Russian security instructors accepted over $2 million in military and medical supplies directly from the United States. We have to form alliances like all in us are changing partners day in, day out, not relying on any single person. Because what they are sending to us is they are open for business. Anybody at all can come into the Sahel and do business with them. They are not restricting themselves to only one person. And because we do not have a lot of things, there are other countries that have them that we don't have. So we need to form partnership with these people so we can get one or two things. It's very important that at least we form different partnership with other people. But like they are making it clear, they are not depending on any of these partners. But you have to give them what they want to also get what you want. This is how we are calling for the world to come here and do business and treat us. Not for them to come here and still be determining the terms and conditions of Africa. That is the era our leaders in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso are saying that it is officially over. The affairs of Africa must be decided on by the African and not outside players who come into the continent seeing the African to be inferior. And for that matter, they need to determine the rules and regulations. They still expect the African to be dependent. The African should not have friends. They should determine who we move with, what we do. But these are the things that the leaders are saying that the time has come that we will now be the masters of our own destiny. Ever since he came into office, he has never left to any place. And we will all expect that maybe his trip will be in Russia or China, but he chose Turkey. And that tells us a lot because I think the other two nations went to Russia, went to China, and what they need, they have already had them. So they need to move to other places to also acquire certain things that they think they didn't get from Russia or China. This is big, and we are seeing the shift in our political affairs. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided before, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's colonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we'll make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world in Africa, West Africa, and in Niger.